I'll start you from the back room. This is where everybody employees get spankings if they're bad. No, I'm just playing. We just shut the door right here. We see that stick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We
What's
got the
good,
dry
man?
storage right here. Rice cookers, rice, all our dry
Nice.
ingredients, all rice pots,
That's good, bro.
refrigerators.
It's like
It's good.
live,
It's good here.
live in action, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go. Love it.
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
You gotta yell at somebody. Hey, you better clean this shit up, man. I'm on video, bro. You're making me look bad.
Yeah, I don't want y'all to hear that. I'm just like, oh, I love it. I
You sure
love it.
did.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you. Who we got up in here?
Of course, bro. Nothing. We're just gonna do a live interview, bro.
Oh, sweet. Let's do it.
Yeah. There's really no script, just we're just gonna like intro you real quick.
That's usually how I get down.
Ask you questions, and then that's it.
Let's do it.
Ready? Ready, Ron?
Yes, sir.
Yo, audio's like, are you guys' audio good? I can barely hear.
I can hear you great.
Is that good for you?
Yeah.
Lewis, he's good? Okay, maybe it's just on my end.
Yeah.
This is the best it's gonna get. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, it's on me.
Yeah, it's probably you, bro.
Okay. I mean, I can hear them, but it sounds low. But if we're good, we're good. Yeah, let's hit it.
I'll put the bass in my voice for you.
We need more treble.
Yeah, is that what it is? My bad, I'm too low. Yeah.
Ready? Should I intro him?
Ready. We're recording, bro.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome again to our VIP weekly calls. And tonight it is going to be very special because we have our friend Zach here. So Zach is a father, a husband, a celebrity chef, restaurant owner, and he's also a personal brand. Super excited for us to have him here today, asking, a few questions about his business, his personal life, and how he runs his business. And with that said, what's up, bro? What's up, Zach? I love the broom
What's
in the back,
happening?
bro.
Oh yeah, that's the like I said, that's the paddle, bro.
Love it.
You burn the steak, you meet the maker.
And Zach here is actually doing this interview live from his restaurant. So do you mind sharing, bro, your
yeah, of course. Let's do it.
like
Let's do it. Let's
restaurant,
run that back.
your refrigerator, your
Yeah.
yeah.
So here, like I said earlier, we got all our rice. This is about 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 300 pounds of rice. I think, or no, 150. I don't know. But we got all of our dry storage here, all our rice cookers down here. Sriracha, look, it's not a myth. We got the real sriracha. They don't have that everywhere. Spices and everything. This is where we wash all of our dishes. This is our prep table. Knives on the wall. We got our refrigerators right here.
Nice.
Salmon, chicken. Normally I have a bunch of steaks in here, but we got to go get them tomorrow. Normally this is all full of steak. We got broccoli, zucchini, sausage, cheese for something secret I'm doing, garlic, butter, and then we'll get a live look of the front of the house.
Love it.
Got chicken on the grill right now.
Wow, just live tour, bro. That's cool.
Yeah. Say what up.
He didn't want to be on no camera.
So, nah, he don't. We're still trying to break him in, But that's it.
What's the question, Ron?
Well,
I guess first question is like, how'd you get started, bro? Like, what's the journey like? When did you start? What made you start? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the food space in general, I just started out as a dishwasher, washing dishes at 10 years old. I always said gently became a chef because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I liked making money after I got my first paycheck. And they just kept telling me the more I learn, the more I'll earn. And so I just slowly worked the ranks up to become head chef. And then, it was just levels to it. And then I was just always looking for that next level. And like I keep saying, I accidentally became a restaurant owner by just leveling up
Yeah, what were you doing like
from a
food trucks
dishwasher.
too during COVID? Started as a
Yeah,
food truck too.
so when I first started, it was out of my mom's backyard. And then I got the opportunity to do a food truck during COVID, and then that had broken down, and that's how we got into a restaurant.
Love it, bro. And then for the audience, so where'd you grow up? Where do you live
I'm
right now?
I'm born and
You grew
raised.
up?
I'm born and raised in Las Vegas. Right now, I live in Henderson, but still, it's Las Vegas. I don't go out to the other cities telling people I'm from Henderson. I just say Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So born and raised out here. Been here my whole life. I'll move one day, but not today.
What's the question, Ron? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. So let's back. I want to back up real quick. You said something about you got started because something broke down, and what?
Yeah. So my food truck that I got, not a lot of people know this, but it actually never drove. Imagine a food truck that doesn't drive. That doesn't make sense. That's basically just a restaurant on wheels, but the wheels don't work. So I always knew the food truck wasn't gonna last a long time because you're supposed to drive the truck to your kitchen commissary, which a kitchen commissary is a shared kitchen where you load up all your protein, you fill up your water, you empty your dirty water, and you're supposed to drive there every night when you're done. My food truck didn't drive, so where I parked it at, the guy would let me use the inside of his broken down Subway, and he would let me fill my water from there and then dump my dirty water into the toilet. And then he would also let me use the walk-in fridges in there as well, which isn't completely legal. But I knew that the truck, the health department, they kept pretty much they were catching on that the truck wasn't driving, right? They would come every once in a while and be like, "Hey, where's your commissary?" And I would tell them, they're like, "Huh, they don't allow food truck there." Well, I go there, I drop my stuff off, I park it back here, they let me park here. Then it was, hey, we haven't seen your food truck move in about 2 weeks. Oh, we move it at 2 in the morning. And so I just knew that they were catching on. And so I knew it was time to, before it broke down and they caught me completely, find the next level, which ended up being a restaurant. And so I knew that I needed to kind of have the restaurant done before the food truck got in trouble so I could make a smooth transition.
Okay. Okay. So, all right.
That's a long answer.
So you would drive to the food truck, and the food truck happened to be in a good location to sell it?
Correct.
Were you on the main street? Were you in the back alley? Were you like in front of?
I was on Flamingo and Pecos, right here,
Oh,
right in the same parking lot as my restaurant. It's not the best, but it ain't the worst.
but traffic rolls through there like crazy. Those are
Oh
major
yeah,
streets for those who don't know Vegas.
Yeah, those
yeah.
are main
So
roads.
so what we would have is we would, because the garlic smoke would go out the roof, and so that was the best selling point right there. Where what is it? Jersey Mike's has that sign, free smells. We were giving free smells all day long. People would drive and then they make a U-turn because they'd be like, "Yo." And it didn't, and it also helped that our food truck was 20 feet long and bright orange.
Oh yeah, man. That's kind of brilliant, bro. Like, so but you were washing dishes,
Mhm.
and then you were like, I need to make more money. Were you like, hey y'all, can y'all promote me to chef? Did you just go like right into it? Was there like
Gotcha.
a process? How'd that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. So pretty much from there it was like, hey, can I get a raise? And the owner of the restaurant is like, bro, dishwashers don't get raises. He goes, dishwashers don't even usually last this long,
How long
especially
were you
white
there?
dishwashers, especially white dishwashers. He goes, so I washed dishes for about, I want to say 8 months. So I was almost 16 years old. And he was like, well, the only best thing I could do is I can try to start. He's like, this isn't even really a position, but we'll make it a position for you, which was a hibachi chef prepper. So I would help the hibachi chef. So when they come out and wheel their cart out
Yep.
to the
Yeah.
grill, So I would set their carts up when orders came in. I would cut all the vegetables and all the meats, and then I would also clean the grills for them after. So they would pretty much, I was the hibachi biatch, you know. I would, like I said, set up all their stuff for them, and that was the next level after that.
Wow. And that's how you learned, right? I'm assuming that's how you learned the skills and
Well, that's
ingredients.
that's how I learned how to cut the protein, you know, because truthfully, like I said, you know, being at a restaurant, being the white guy at the restaurant, you get it a little bit harder, right? It's not easy because, you know, one, they don't speak the same language as you. It was either I learned Spanish or 15 Mexican dudes learn English. Which one did I was, you know? So I had the language barrier. Also, the notion of just the white guy in a kitchen was like they would see the name John on the board for a new hire, and they'd all be like, "Oh my god!" They'd see Jose and be like, "Yeah," right. And so I also had to deal with that as well. And not only that, I was 16 years old. These guys were 40, 50, and so I had to, you know, deal with that. I had to also, they wanted me to on delay and hurry up. And so I remember one of the first things the guy does was he goes, "Here's this fucking 40 pounds." Am I allowed to cuss? I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah,
want to
you're
cuss.
good.
My bad. Okay. "Here's these 40 pounds of shrimp. Peel it." I'm like, "Okay, cool. That sounds easy." Next thing I know, he goes, "Yo, time to clock out." I was peeling this shrimp for 4 hours or 6 hours. And so, you know, it was like one of those things of like, okay, now next time it took me this 6 hours, next time take me five and then four. And then, you know, cutting the little tiny vegetables for the fried rice, you know, the carrots. So I thought that they came already cut like that,
Right.
right? You know, the little, and I asked the boss, I go, "Yo, why don't we just buy this pre-cut?" And he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, "Well, what would I pay you for then?" I go, "Oh shit, you got a good point." And so, you know, little things from doing that to cutting all the fat off of the filet mignons and the New York steaks. Like I said, setting up the orders, and then it just kind of went to that. So you could order the same food, but not sit at the grill. You could sit in the. This restaurant had a dining area as well and a kitchen menu, a whole nother section. So pretty much you're cooking the same food, but not doing a show and for customers.
Yeah.
And so I started like that. So they would, you
Oh,
know, because they
gotcha.
didn't want to, because the chefs didn't want to cook those because they didn't get tips from that. So they
Right.
send me out there to cook those. Yo, go
Right.
cook this.
Yep.
Yep. And so that's how I started learning and cooking the meals as well.
I love this, bro. I love this work. Bro, you're a dishwasher, you work in the mail room, and you work your
Yeah.
way up. You learn it, you
Yeah.
respect it, you know the game, you know the business inside and out because you started at the bottom. Can't nobody get over on you at any
Hell no.
level because you
Nope.
were the bottom. Daddy didn't
Yep.
hand you this restaurant and go, "Here you go." And you don't know how anything works. I got much respect for you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I mean, that's exactly what it is, you know. I mean, there was rumors and jokes that, you know, I was a son of the owner because they're like, "Who's the white guy that's working here so long?" You know what I mean? And so like I said, I had to deal with all that. And I mean, that also, that what you just said helps me running my business because nobody can tell me that nothing can be done because I know it can be. You know, these guys, they're like, "Oh man, you know, they're supposed to be off at 10 o'clock." And, you know, I'm seeing clock outs at 10:30, 10:20. And I'm like, what's going on? "Oh, well, you know, it's difficult." I'm like, "No, no, all right, is it okay? Cool. Well, I'll come and clock in tomorrow, and we'll see how difficult it is." And so then I show them that it can be done, and they're like, "Wow!" And I go, "Yeah, the problem is, you know," and I know all the answers.
Right.
Most of the answers.
Yeah, because you were like living it. I mean, you were doing it yourself.
I was eat, sleep,
With
and
the whole
breathing
process.
the
So
restaurant. I don't know anything else besides restaurant business.
damn, it's awesome, bro.
So,
Thank
bro,
you.
okay, so you go from learning how to cook, how do they get to like it's time for me to open up my own stuff? You stopped being a W-2 mind and you went to an entrepreneur mind. How did that happen? Tell me how that happened.
So I'll tell you, I'll do a little short story, kind of short, long story to lead up to it so that you can have some context. So, you know, I start cooking for customers and everything. And, you know, I'm this white guy hibachi chef. I'm starting to, you know, customers are coming back. They're seeing me, they're recognizing me. And then I'm 19 years old. And oh, what was happening? Sorry, what was actually happening was, you know, chefs were coming in, they were getting hired, and then they were automatically above me. And I didn't like that. the first time I let it happen. Second time, you know, the third time I was like, all right, I can't keep I've been here for
Yeah.
3 years now, and these guys are starting and they're already ahead of me. So that's when I knew needed to learn more skills, more tricks, be more personable. And so it was one night, it was Father's Day weekend. I was 19 years old. And the two chefs that I was working with decided to open their own takeout hibachi business. They no called, no showed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I cooked the entire weekend by myself. By myself. Hardest thing I ever did, right? The owner comes to me Tuesday and goes, all right, Zach, you're the head chef. And I'm like, I mean, I'm the only one left. I
On
guess so.
default. On default, right?
I go, I guess so. So now I'm head chef at 19. And where I worked was I was in Seven Hills Anthem. So it's nicer, wealthier area for those that don't know Las Vegas that much. And so I would cook for these guys, and they're coming in on Tuesday with their Rolls Royce keys, drinking sake, suited up. You know, I'm like, what do you, and you know, as hibachi chefs, we're cooking right in front of the customer. So I took that as like, I'm going to ask you, yo, what do you do? And me, you know, there's no language barrier for me and the customer. We're chopping it all day long. And so I just kept hearing, you know, oh, I own a business, or I have real estate, and, you know, I'm in sales and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, so what I would naturally did was I need to be in real estate. I need to get me a salesman. And so I started dabbling in these other things, but nothing was working. Nothing was working. And not that it wasn't working. I just gave up too easy is what I realized later on. And I watched the Gary Vee video, and he was like, you need to double down on what you already know. Because I was burnt out at this time. I was burnt out. I'm like, I don't want to keep cooking. I want to, and these real estate dudes, they look like they got it, right? I'm like, these guys look dope. You know, I went to real estate school. I did affiliate marketing school or whatever classes on YouTube. Anyway, and so when I heard you need to double down on what you know, I go, thanks, Gary Vee. That's exactly what I want to do. Double down on cooking, the thing I'm trying to get out of. And but you know, I took that one home, and that's when I decided, like, you know, I need to start a food business. And that's when I started in my friend's backyard. And I mean, it just took off from there.
What do you mean backyard? Like what?
So yeah, so you don't, you know, to open my restaurant, I mean, I spent almost a little under $150,000, right? The food truck was about 70,000. My homie's backyard was like 2,000. So I go, you know, hey, I don't know one rich or successful man that hasn't broken the law just a little bit, right? And so we buy a grill, we buy all the utensils. Luckily, my buddy his mom had some money, so she had all the warming trays in her, you know, like the steam table to keep food hot. We bought, she had tables. And so next thing you know, I just put on Instagram, hey, my 2 days off from the restaurant I worked at, I'm opening up in my friend's backyard serving takeout plates.
Serving takeout plates, right? Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And how'd that work? Like your Instagram was producing business like that? For real?
So before I even thought to venture out, I knew that social media was a very key tool. And so I made an Instagram so I had my own personal Instagram growing up, because Instagram came out when I was a freshman in high school. And so, you know, I used Instagram truthfully to look cool, get girls, you know, like that's what it was. But I go, let me make a second page for cooking. And so I made a page. So my one page was called West Coast Z. It was my rapper name. I wanted to be a rapper. That didn't work out. And then my next one was called Zach the Chef, because everybody was chef this, chef that. I wanted to be Zach the Chef, you know, whatever. And so I made that page. So I started, you know, I started promoting on there that I was cooking at the restaurant. So yeah, I mean, I just started posting that, hey, I'm about to do something. If you want to come on through. And granted, it started off with just friends coming at first. You know, it was just homies and friends that I went to high school with, a customer from the restaurant here and there. And then, you know, slowly we started getting people that are finding us on Instagram. You know, they're finding us through social media. They're like, yo, there's this backyard and they're serving lobster. We gotta go. And so that's how that started. Yeah.
So you went viral?
In a sense, I mean, viral at the time. I mean, we had so I started a new page. So basically my high school page was done with. I was done with that. I stopped posting on that a few years before this. And I was only posting on the Zach the Chef page. So then I made a business page, kind of like how I have now, how I have my Vanilla Rice and then my Vanilla Rice LV. And so, yeah, I mean, we got up to, I think before, you know, things got turned for the worst, which we can get into, we had about 6,000 followers. And back then, I mean, 6,000 followers, you know, for a restaurant. Yeah.
It's like 100,000 right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, right now, 10K for restaurants is normal, you know, it's like normal. you know.
Gotcha. So when did it go from like, I'm cooking in backyards, I'm still working at this place as a W-2. When did it take off for you to like get a food truck? And then when did it take off for you to get enough money to like open a restaurant? How'd that work?
So we were doing really good in the backyard, but as common business stories happen, I started this business with all my friends, all my sandbox friends. We've known each other since preschool, like, and we all know how that works. It never works, right? And my like you just said earlier, when did my mind shift from W-2 to like entrepreneur? So I started, somebody came into my life, a personal trainer at the time, started introducing me to affirmations and reading books and elevating your mind and working out. And I mean, because I think that's what all good personal trainers do. It's not just working out; it's also working out the mind. And this guy was what a blessing. His name's Alvin. I shout him out in every podcast I've ever done. He's an amazing turning point in my life. And so I started listening to all of this stuff, and I was getting like a high from it, right? Like I would get this high that I've never felt before. So then what did I do? I started smoking less weed. I started drinking less because that's what we were doing. We went viral because we were the backyard spot cooking hibachi, and we were smoking blunts while we were drinking beers while we were cooking hibachi. Like, and so that was even more cool because people are like, "What? You can go to the backyard, roll up," and that's what we became known as. But then, as my mind started shifting, I started elevating. I started looking at, and not to be, think that I'm better than anybody, but I started looking at everybody a little bit different. But me being the friend that I was like, "Hey guys, let's smoke a little less weed. Let's have team meetings every week. Let's elevate this business." Because I started to realize that customers are coming that don't even know us. Homie, you can't smoke cigarettes while taking their order, bro. Like that's just not gonna. That's not scalable, And so little did I know they were getting this little thought that I had a chip. I don't know what the chip on the shoulder, if they had it or if I had it. I don't know the terminology, but I started realizing that I was getting hear stories when I would go over to hang out with them, and I'm like, wait, I usually get invited to everything. I didn't know that happened, and I started to realize I'm getting invited to less things and all this, and so I started to realize like, all right, these guys aren't going to come up to my level, and I don't know who said it, but when you're elevating, it's like the monkey in the barrel. The monkey in the barrel. If you want to, hey, Veronique, how are you? Exactly. So, well, this is a good terminology, like a good thing. So, here, my bad. So you're going up here, and in order to, hold on, here you go. My bad. You're going up here. That's not even good either. Shit. There we go. You're going up here, and your friends are here. So if you want to be on their level, they're not going to come up here. You got to come back down here, and that's backtracking. And so I realized that this isn't going to work anymore. And unfortunately, we ended up having a falling out. And so I deleted the Instagram. I told everybody, yo, I'm just gonna. And at the time, I was still working my job, and I just told everybody like, yo, I'm just just go back to work, and hey, fuck it. You know what I mean? It was a great run. And then so to make it super fast, because I built such a buzz, I was at the restaurant one day and I got a phone call from some random number. And I usually don't answer random numbers, but I just happened to answer this number. And this guy goes, yo, it's Johnny. I was like, what's up? He's like, yeah, I have this hibachi food truck I'm trying to open, and I don't want to cook. He's like, and I remember you from the backyard hibachi, you were killing it. I'm like, okay. And so we ended up meeting the next day. We did a 70-30 split on the truck. I took 70, he took 30. That's another bunch of mini stories to get it open. That was a hassle, but that's how I got the food truck. Then that story I told you guys earlier about how it didn't work, I was like, all right, this guy isn't, because what happened was he wasn't fixing my truck. Things would break. That was his end of the deal. He builds the truck, he maintains the truck. I make sure money's flowing in.
Yeah.
And so he just wasn't holding his end of the deal. So I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to go to the next level with this guy. Not only do I don't want to go with him, I don't know if he can get me there.
Yeah.
So I actually had another, it's funny, personal trainers. I wish I was Buffer to prove to you guys I have personal trainers in my life. But I had another personal trainer.
Give your shirt, bro. Let's see it.
Yeah, I know. Y'all don't want to see this is yeah. We're on our way there. We're on our way there. We're working. These hibachi burritos are too damn good. And I just knew that he wasn't the guy to get me to that next level. And I needed to find something else. And obviously I had no clue. everybody sits there and acts like they know what they're doing. To this day, I know what I'm doing now off of experience, but I'm still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going with what I can. Luckily now there's a lot more research, there's more restaurant podcasts and stuff like that I can listen to, and I have more friends in the industry that I can go to advice for. But back then I had nobody, and so personal trainer, I'm working out with him. The food truck was busy. And I'm like, cool, food truck's busy. My Instagram's blowing up. I need to look good. So I get a personal trainer and he goes, hey, we help scale restaurant brands. I'm like, okay. And of course, I tell my wife, right, I've already been through 2 business partners. She goes, you're a dumbass if you get another business partner. You better learn from your mistakes, right? And I'm like, yeah, but babe, they got half the money. They said they're going to do this. They said they're going to do that. She's like, bruh. And of course, I've gotten in a lot of trouble in my life for not listening to her. But what did I do again? I didn't listen. And I signed a deal with these guys. And, luckily it was the best one I've ever signed. So.
Oh, nice. That's good.
And they helped me. They helped me get into this restaurant. So that's the long, short version of what you just asked me.
Okay. And you're still partners with them now? What's the split like? Are you on your own?
Yes. So we're 50-50 partners. And, when I tell people that, right, I would never be 50-50 or this and that, but, and they don't see them a lot, right? Nobody sees my business partner. You'll never see my business partner. Never. But that's his 50%. He makes sure shit's running and not being seen. Because if he's here, something's not good. So he handles all my back end stuff, customer relations, customer support, my websites, my discounts. I'm trying to throw out a new special. And people sit there all the time and they go, well, you could pay for that. You could pay somebody. You could outsource that. I go, you don't understand my situation. When my food truck was about to break down, the health department was on my ass. I did it out of desperation. Did maybe I jump sooner than I could have or should have? Yes, I agree. I should have thought about it some more. But at that time, when it was desperation, my food truck was the hottest thing out. I didn't want it to dwindle or lose that momentum. I was like, let's take a third time's a charm and see if it works. And, it worked.
Okay. Go ahead, y'all, because I can keep going all night.
I know you're doing great, bro.
Hey, Kill, are you good?
Oh.
What you getting that for? Oh, cool. Did it slow down? Cool.
It's live. He's doing live right now at the restaurant too. So.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, we just put it in. Yeah.
He showed us his kitchen earlier. The kitchen, the fridge, the counter. Yeah.
Nice.
You guys didn't see the body in there, right?
That's really good. The body.
Ron saw it.
I saw that leg.
Ron was looking for it. Ron
was looking for it.
You think you getting steak? No, you getting leg.
No, this is good for people watching the replay. It's gonna be good, because they can see the back end too. So
yeah, I love it.
So that's a restaurant, right? So now you're, I guess, like more into like personal branding too, right, bro?
Yeah.
With your restaurant.
I just realized, one, I didn't know that was a term back when I had my Instagram, right? I just knew that I was Zach and I just like to be an entertainer. Because that's what I realized, right? I didn't like cooking. I don't really like cooking. I liked cooking for people and doing the show and talking and entertaining. That's what I realized I really liked. And so I just realized that if I just put that onto social media, it's gonna go, right? And now it has a term to it, and maybe it did back then, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. But personal brand, and so I just figured that if I can just hone in on personal brand, I mean, I could sell toilet paper, and people be like, "Yo, that vanilla rice toilet paper,"
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not limited to just your food, right?
And also in the space that I'm in, I mean, how many you look at guys like Guy Fieri, Gordon Ramsay, people that built this big personal brand for themselves in the food space, and a lot of restaurant owners that I know out here, you don't even see them. You've never seen them before. So what do they have to do? They have to go pay a content creator or a social media person to be that face for them. There's nobody that's going to represent my brand better than I can. So I said, you know what? Instead of paying someone $2,000 a month to represent my brand, I'll pay myself $2,000 a month. Or I'll put that back into the business, because it don't cost me nothing to make videos.
Yeah.
So you have your Rich Off Food podcast now, and then you have your 4 a.m. club, correct?
Yes, yes.
How's that going?
4 a.m. club. Not a lot of people like to wake up at 4 a.m. I learned that. I realized that I'm like one of the only ones. I mean, nobody really likes it. I don't like it. I just know I have to do it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. But truthfully, the podcast is going off because I'm shedding light. It's one, it's to help build my personal brand. It's two is to shed stories of other restaurant owners, and three, it's to inspire people that are either getting in this industry or people that want to get out of this industry. They might hear something that makes them want to get in, and they might hear something that makes them never want to get in. But hey, if I can help and provide value in any sort of way, I mean, they might listen to my podcast and be like, "I'm so glad I listened to that and didn't spend 150 grand on a restaurant. Thank you." Versus, that's value right there.
Yeah, I've been watching them. They're really good, Zach. Really, really good.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
see you're
Okay.
traveling too. I see you're traveling too, bro. So
Oh
you
yeah, we I've
invested
done
in
I
it.
did I did 3 in San Diego, and 7 out here so far.
Yeah, you're working,
That's
bro. I
so-
see you working, man.
I've
Yeah.
only dropped 2, but it's my editing guy can't keep up.
It's a good problem,
That's a
right?
good-
I did 4 in one day, bro.
That's good.
This dude was tripping. He's like, bro. I'm like, yo, where's my shit? Where's it at? Where's
I
my
think that's one of the
content?
assets too, bro, is that you have a lot of energy, man. That's good.
I
It
mean,
takes
you
a
have
lot
a
of
baby. You have a wife.
I'm glad you guys see that because fuck, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like this is imagine, right? Like, I portray this image online and then you meet me and I'm not like that, like I don't want to be a manfish. Is that what they call it? A manfish? A male catfish? Or is catfish for men too? I don't know. I call it the manfish.
Yeah.
I want to be somebody that they're like, damn.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I call it
I don't
man.
know.
I call it manfish.
I don't
Most
know.
catfishes are women. I don't know. But
Why is it
yeah, I
important
just
for
I
restaurant? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say I just want to I just want people to see me online and get the same thing in person.
Yeah, why is it important for restaurant owners to have a personal brand too?
Because I mean, perfect example, right? This is, and you guys might be like, oh, Zach made this story up. This literally happened an hour ago. Buddy comes in. He said they were him and his bro were at a food festival and they saw another hibachi truck.
Mhm.
And his homie went there and he said, I'm not going there. He's like, why? He goes, because I feel like I'll be cheating on my boy Zach. And it's not because my food might be better. I mean, I think so because I know which truck was there, but I'm not going to say names. I know so. But it was just the fact that, like, at that time when my food truck was out there, I was out there kissing hands shaking hands and kissing babies. And building these personal relationships with people to where I built a bond and they're like, nah, that's Zach's place. And they'll go to mine before anybody else's because of the feeling, Same with just branding in general.
So look, we even have.
Yeah, same with us, bro. That's how we feel now when we go to these places. we remember you, bro. So
See?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, Joffrey, baby. I love it. No, I mean, and that's really what it is. It's like I want people to choose me over the competitor. I mean, am I selfish for that? I mean, yeah, hell yeah. I don't care. Screw my competitors.
Yeah.
yeah, the
Are they
separation,
my
right?
colleagues?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I only, what am I going to be like? Oh, well, yeah, there's enough out there for everybody, right? But am I in it to take over? Hell yeah.
Yeah, your food's amazing. And your sauces.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're coming out with a bunch of specialty drinks soon. Here, I'll see if we still got one more. Hey, you got any more of the blue drink or no? No. Hey, you got any more of the blue drink? It's gone? Damn. All right, well, you guys just going to have to see. We call it ocean water.
Ocean water.
Yeah, we got ocean water coming. We're
Cool.
gonna start doing a bunch of different things.
I love it.
I don't know where that came from, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, like
Yeah.
ideas and things.
Will the drinks be available in July? Hell yeah.
I was just visiting in July
Oh,
from
yeah.
from Canada. So
Yeah, for sure. Heck
yeah,
yeah.
drop by at Zach's.
We're gonna try to do a different one every week. Obviously, not every single week. Like we're gonna have 4, and they're gonna switch every week. And then I mean, if some are going, I mean, we'll keep them. But I just want to create different excitements.
Oh yeah. Didn't we just meet Rich too, who said that he did hibachi with Zach and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Who?
We just met with someone, his name's
Rich. Yeah.
Rich.
Richie.
Richie, he said that he had you, I think New Year's.
Oh, Richie, my guy, Richie. Yeah.
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 Yep.
And he said it was
Yep. That's my
pretty
boy.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my boy. Yep.
Questions for him?
That's awesome.
I guess where you go, what are like your next goals with all your social media, everything, your podcast, like
The restaurant.
the restaurant?
My next goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My goals, my personal goals for social media is to just blow up the personal brand. Obviously it coincides with my restaurant business. Just going to be producing more content for my personal brand as well as my podcast, as well as the restaurants. Open more locations, but truthfully, right now, what my main focus is on is building it like a corporation.
Mm.
The
Right? I was
restaurant, you mean?
raised,
Mhm.
yes, the restaurant. I was raised in a mom and pop shop. So I've had the notion, and I don't know if anybody knows the difference between, let's just say, China Kitchen down the road that's owned by, a husband and wife versus the structure in a Chick-fil-A. Completely
Mhm.
different,
Yeah.
right? And, I was raised in a mom and pop shop where, you knew the owner, you see him every day. He's who you ask for time off. And so I started to realize that's me as well right now. And that's not scalable.
Mm.
So my super focus right now is to build, standard operating procedures, recipe books, guidebooks, uniforms. Just if I want to be like Chick-fil-A one day, I can't do that operating like a mom and pop shop.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
granted, they started like that. All these restaurants started like that. McDonald's first location started like that. But it's that switch of where if I want to duplicate this 100 times, how can I duplicate the customers or the employees asking me for time off? You can't duplicate that.
Right.
There has
Yeah.
to be a chain of command. And so that's where my real grit of my focus is. And the problem is nobody sees that. That's all behind the scenes. Nobody
Yeah.
sees that, I'm back here. I mean, here, show you some examples. We're doing boards now with everything inside of my bad. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool, this went away. Oh, there we go. We got recipes on the wall now. There's no questions, right? As well as daily standards, opening procedures, closing
SOPs.
procedures, SOPs, exactly, bagging station procedures, which at hold on. At one location, sorry, let me get out of this on Kingston. At one location, it's not okay to repeat yourself and keep because you're always there. It's not okay, but that's what we get in the habit of, just repeating myself, repeating myself, repeating myself. I can't scale myself repeating. If that makes sense.
Love that.
And so so to answer your question, that's where my main focus is right now.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
So,
Go ahead,
bro,
Ron.
so let's, bro. I keep hearing this, Cody Sanchez and a lot of people who cover businesses say restaurants are the worst business to join if you want to go broke, start a restaurant. But what's
Yeah.
funny is like everywhere I go and everywhere I see, there's always restaurants. So what do you think about that? And like to the new person that's thinking about starting a business, like how do you avoid being unsuccessful?
That's a great question. Yeah, no, the restaurant industry has the highest fail rate. Banks won't even loan you money to open a restaurant unless you've got multi-million dollars in revenue and a 900 credit score. And they'll still be like, "We'll let you know." Right? That's how bad it is, truthfully, the reason why a lot of them are unsuccessful is because they open the doors and they're just like, "Hey, come on in." And everyone thinks their grandma's recipe is that next hit, right? They don't test concept before spending all this money. They open the doors with no personal brand, no marketing. They just, like I said, they just open the door and they just hope for the best, they hope that people are going to choose them over others. And, that's what separates, the boys from the men, and the small restaurants versus the big corporations. Like it's a feeling when you go to Chick-fil-A. Like Chick-fil-A is like, ooh, that, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a feeling. It's a community building. It's more than just your grandma's recipe, because here's a great example. I opened a second location. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because I was trying to justify my business off of my food. Let me explain. I thought that my food was so good that I can open a restaurant inside of another restaurant with zero branding, zero marketing, and I'm going to kill it. I was sadly mistaken. That is not the case. That restaurant is not open anymore. I had zero signage. I had one big sign outside that you couldn't even really see. But I'm like, man, second location, I'm popping over here at the Flamingo spot.
Is that the one that we went to, bro, or no?
There. Yeah, that one's not there anymore.
Oh, okay. So where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm in my Flamingo location, my original location.
Oh, okay.
But the difference between
Pecos, right? Pecos?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
Pecos, yep. So the difference is the culture that I've built here. The company morale that I built here. My employees know now, they know my standard. They see me operate with this high energy with customers. So what do? They operate the same exact way. It's the standard to be, hi, how you doing? Welcome. So it got to the point where, because what happened was I opened inside of this restaurant. I started the other one, the Charleston location, my second location. I was using their employees. It was called Catcher's Fish House. Their employees were now my employees. What do you think their employee? Even though we iterated to them, you guys work for both brands now. Yeah, they were brushing my customers off. They were rude as hell to my customers. They were saying, you don't pay my paychecks to customers.
Wow.
But the problem was I wasn't able to build company morale. I didn't start from zero. I didn't start with my standards and my company morals and how we operate. I just tried to justify myself on the food. I said, no matter what I do, the food's going to sell. This place is going to boom. And that's the exact opposite of what happened. And that's what a lot of restaurants do these days. And that's why they're at such a high fail rate.
So that's sick, bro. So like your food's got to be good, but so much of it is just like any other business. You got to know how to drive leads. And then when the leads gets there, there's an atmosphere that's got to be popping too. They got to feel good while they're there. How they feel when they're in your restaurant, and the food and the lead. So those three things are the recipe for success or failure if you don't do it.
And that's why my food truck was busier than my restaurant right now, because the feeling of a food truck is so much more nostalgic, right? I sit there all the time. I go, I sell the same food. I'm just inside of a building. But it was the fact that they were showing up to a food truck. It was a vibe. We had the dope music playing. And I try to recreate that as best as I can, but there's nothing I'll do in this building that will give it that same food truck nostalgia.
So bro, so I watch a lot of Shark Tank, dude. And a lot of times they're like, there's someone killing it on the food truck. And they go, what are you going to do next? They're like, I'm going to go brick and mortar. They go, no, you're not.
Hell no.
Invested in your business. We're going to get like 50, like whatever, 10 food trucks and put them on these spots. Because it's a car, bro. Like once you buy that, your overhead's so low. Will you ever think about doing that instead of open up another brick and mortar or what?
So yes, I have my reasons of not. One big one that we all know that live in Las Vegas is the summer.
Heat.
That summer, though, that one summer that I had that food truck was fucking rough. Now, granted, there's better AC. We had one of the RV AC units that, you're up in the mountains, the weather's nice, or it might be a little hot. You kick it on and it just does a light breeze. When you got a 450-degree grill cranking in there for 7 hours straight, I don't give a fuck what you got in there. But they're building food trucks. Yeah, but they're building food trucks now that have commercial air conditioning units on them as well. And so, yes, my next location is going to be a food truck.
I got an idea for you. If you can't get the AC commercial, you hire 3 or 4 girls that wear bikinis, and it can be hot and it's sweating, You're gonna sell out, bro. I'll be a
Yeah.
customer. I'm on
Yeah.
I don't think his wife's
Yeah.
gonna like that.
No,
I'm
that's
just
okay.
there to get the food.
Well,
and-
well, you know what's so funny about that? Not in the bikini sense, but I always try to have girls take orders because it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
they sell more. You know what I mean?
No,
They're like, you
yeah.
know what?
Oh, yeah.
Add those extra 6 sauces on there. You know?
I say this to Lewis all the time, bro. We go out to lunch and we'll go get a drink. And who comes up to you? Some big hairy dude. Could I help you guys? Get out of here,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
I see that girl
yeah,
over here. I don't want to talk to you.
yeah. Yep. So when my business took a little bit of a dip, I had to get rid of the cashier position and I had my chefs do that. And so now I don't they're big and hairy.
Start hiring, bro.
It's like,
Yeah, I know.
like, hey, can I take your order?
Well, because that's the thing.
You walk away.
Oh no. I go, oh no, I can only have 2 people on a shift. That's gonna be my 2 chefs. I go, but if I can't afford the third, but I'm like, maybe if I got a third that was a girl, I might sell more. So I guess I just gotta take the risk, you know. But that was always my thing, was always to, women taking orders, just because, one, they're just nicer. You know what I mean? It's hard for you to be mean to a nice woman trying to take your order. You know what I mean? Like, but then they get the other way. I had one little story of this one chick. She worked for me for a really long time, but she came up to me one day just crying. Some customer just cussed her out and she quit. I was like, how'd you cuss her out? She's so nice. But it happens,
Yeah, dudes will stay and deal with more stuff, but they ain't got
They're more
that
stern,
sweetness.
but they don't got that swagger like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good idea though, bro. I'll consider it.
I try, brother.
Get your hot
It's marketing, baby.
Cool. You guys got any? I got one last question. So I don't know. So someone's wanting to start a restaurant. What kind of costs are they thinking about? Say they want to do, let's say, a food truck, or either one you want to go. Maybe both. What do they need? How do they think of a concept of food to sell? Like, are there losers? Are there winners? Do you need to be passionate about it? Is there stuff to stay away from? Is there stuff that's going to sell? And like, what are the costs associated with this?
Yeah, for sure. So I can give recommendations, right? I suggest you start with what you already have at your house. Your pots, your pans, whatever's in your cabinet to cook with, and then go to your local grocery store and buy ingredients and test the concept, invite your friends over, get their feedback, because so many people, like I said earlier, is they just think that their grandma's recipe is amazing. I like using that term. It sounds funny. Their grandma's recipe is amazing. They spend 150 grand on the restaurant and it fails. You know how when I see a restaurant that's up and then I see it shut down, I'm like, you know how much wasted money that was?
Yeah.
It's sickening. I'm like, you could have gave me the 150K. We would have been popping.
Multiple
But
six
no,
figures, bro. Down the drain.
Huh?
Multiple six
Bro,
figures down the drain.
They're be good too. It's just
it hurts my soul.
Market.
It hurts my soul. And that's the thing. So, like, I recommend doing it the way I did it. Start with 2 grand. Start with 2 grand. And I say 2 grand on because I went crazy and I got the grill in the backyard and tables and all that. You can start with the ingredients at the grocery store for 150, 200 bucks. Cook some stuff, give it away for free, because that's what you got to do at first. You guys know that. You got to give it away for free before anybody's going to pay you. And test your concept out before you even think. Because I have a buddy right now. His tacos are fire. But I'm like, dude, you're not a restaurant guy. Your value and your smarts are in somewhere else. You shouldn't even be in the restaurant. Right? But then he goes, well, I'm just going to hire somebody and I'm not going to cook. I go, but that's also not going to happen. That's not how it works. You think you're going to be so busy day one and you're not going to be bleeding money. I mean, granted, you could hit that home run. Keith Lee could come try you first day and you're out the park. You know what I mean? But that's how rare is that? And so, I recommend to do that, start with a couple $100, right? But then there's levels, your food truck's going to run you anywhere from 60 to 100K.
Okay.
And then restaurants are going to run you anywhere from 100 to a million, couple million.
Damn. Okay.
Love it. And I guess last question
So
for
I wanted to give the recommendations because I don't want people to just I just want to open a restaurant. Like, bro, that's why the fail rate is so high.
Yeah, it
People
looks
do
like
that.
high amount of money to start it and high risk of failure. They don't
And low margins.
yeah, that math ain't mathin'. If
Well,
you don't
now you know why earlier when I was ready to start a business, I was looking into other types of businesses. I wanted to be a real estate agent. I wanted to go into sales. I wanted to do this because I knew I was like, this fucking restaurant shit ain't easy. I'm in here grinding all damn day, sweating, coming home smelling like garlic butter. Like, I'm not trying to do that. Unfortunately, unfortunately, God had a path for me, and he was like, nah, he had me listen to that Gary Vee video that day. He told me, Zach, you're going to listen to this Gary Vee video. And it told me to double down. And so, luckily it worked out for me. And it's working out. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm very wealthy yet, but I'm headed there. I wish I could have maybe done it in a different career, but I'm happy where I'm at. But like I said, people just think they just need to know that this is no joke. Like, you're wasting like some people, $100,000 is some people's entire life savings.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're not going to go into this with a game plan without testing. Like, do you think these makeup companies just put a line out? No, they test it. They test it on animals. You know what I mean? They test it to see if it works. They go out with a plan so they don't crash and burn.
Yeah, that's so
Like
true.
I said, I didn't have a plan, and I know it's funny that I'm saying this, but I had experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. I just want people to know what it really takes. Like, it's not that people. Here's one smaller story. I know you guys probably got to go. I had a lady. She worked on my food truck. She saw the line out my food truck every day. She goes, "I'm gonna start a food truck. I heard all this for weeks. I'm gonna start a food truck." And then what happened? My propane guy that was coming to fill my propane up he was doing it for cash under the table, right? Because my food truck didn't drive. I had to get propane. So one day I ordered a propane from Vegas Propane. The guy goes, "Yo, bro, you need like 7 gallons, bro. They won't even notice it's out in my tank." He goes, "Just pay me cash. I'll fill it up unless it starts to hinder my job. Then I can't do it no more." We're doing this for weeks going on. Someone ends up snitching on him. "Sorry, Z, I can't hook you up no more," right? So buddy gives me a solution. He goes, "Yo, in a week or two, I'll get you this line. We'll run it out the back. We'll get a propane tank." But for a week or two, I was screwed. I had to figure this shit out. So what did I do? I had all these little tiny propane tanks that I would have to roll under my grill on my back on the asphalt, screwing the freaking thing in. And mind you, these propane tanks only lasted 2 hours. My service was 6 hours. So every 2 hours, we're turning the grill off, turn back on. I got a line out the front. I'm under the food truck, rolling under through the back. Nobody even knows this is happening. And like I said, that lady goes, "Yeah, I don't think I want to start a food truck." And I go, "Hey, you think?" So it's just like, there you go.
Crushing it, man.
Yeah, you really are. I think that's with most businesses though. Like, everyone sees the outside pretty picture, but they don't know everything that is behind the scenes, right? So I think that's
Yeah.
why we really like to do this, is because we want to really help people know the back end of doing different businesses, like what it takes to really run
Yeah.
a certain business, you know?
Yeah, good
Yeah,
days
I
and
mean,
bad days, right?
when I would change those propane tanks, exactly, I was changing them. There's a line out the front. We couldn't cook on the grill because I had to turn the gas off. I would
Yeah.
tell the chefs, pretend like you're cooking, so the customers, because we had a window and they could see us cooking. I'd say pretend. I'd say make it look like you're cooking, and just because we don't want to show the customers what we wanted them to
back there
know.
chilling.
Yeah, like, yo, I got a fucking 20 people in line. What are these guys doing? I'd say, no, move your arms, pretend like, and so
That's so
perfectly said.
crazy.
And
We just make it look
the
like.
customers watch food trucks. They're always like looking, and I feel like, because I worked on a food truck actually. I don't know if you know that, but
Really,
yeah,
that's cool.
I won't tell you guys what it was called because I already know you guys will all crack jokes. But
No, say
Hot dog
it.
on a stick.
What is it?
it was Angie's Wieners. We sold 12. This is school and I needed a part-time job. And she's an actress in Hollywood. So she thought that because of her brand as an actress, that she could open a food truck, and it only lasted for like 2 years. She even tried to make us we were gonna start filming, remember? And we started filming and everything, Angie's Wieners, and we had these like little outfits and stuff, but it didn't go anywhere. But every day, like you guys said, the girls were like, "Do you want your 9-inch or do you want a 12-inch wiener?"
Jesus. How did you like your wiener?
And then she found my wiener, bro.
Oh my God.
I just think she chose a bad name, to be honest.
No, but she was it was very catchy in Hollywood. Like it was, you could see it and they'd be like, "What? Angie's Wieners? Like, what is that?" And it was her in a very skimpy suit on the side of her food truck eating a hot dog.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was very marketable because like men obviously like that stuff, like, oh,
and it's ended up with Lewis's wiener.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do it.
But I was saying, like, customers really do look like they would always watch us and be like, "Oh, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or oh, did you drop that on the floor?" Like they'd always say something.
Yeah, they don't play. They're ruthless.
Yeah.
I always tell my employees, I don't pay your paychecks. The customers pay your paychecks.
Yeah.
Hold on, Kristen has a question, bro. What is it, Kristen?
Yes,
my question is for my sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my sister has a food truck, but she lives in New Zealand. They're doing well. Like they're always selling out, but I think it's different. It's different in New Zealand because the problem is they're always so exhausted because like they're the ones doing the prep work. So they basically get home what time? Like maybe 10 or 11 at night, and then they would prep their food, and they won't be able to sleep until like 3 a.m. and then wake up at 6 a.m. So like so what would be like your advice for them to like what should they do so that their load would be lessened for, because we've been giving them advice like why don't you hire like an extra person, because they've been going to festivals.
What's their response when you say that?
They're very meticulous because like both of them are chefs as well. So they would rather, because like my sister's husband basically says that I don't trust anybody else to do the
understandable.
Yeah, right. The amount of work that we put in, and like because they cook everything, all their sauces, their meats, and so it's like it's hard for them to trust someone else to do that job and create basically like or replicate 100% of the type of food that they bring out, right? So
yeah,
I don't know, like
yeah, so it's not. So if they trust, and you might be able to answer this, might not. So if they trusted somebody to do that, would they have the money to pay another employee, or is it they don't want to pay somebody because they're not making enough money as well? Because that's the thing, right? Got it.
They do have the money. It's just because it's just the two of them there. They did end up hiring a friend when they went to like a festival. I think it's like similar to the Lovers and Friends that just happened there. They had it in New Zealand, and so it was such a big festival. So they ended up hiring one of their friends to just help out prep some of their food. But it was just for that event. And then now they're back to just the two of them again. And their food always sells out because they can only do so much. So their quantity is not making up for the amount of people that want their food.
Gotcha. Yeah, so selling out is good and bad, right? Selling out means that you have a great product. When you sell out, you create that what is the word, Lewis? The demand? Demand for it, right? Is the demand. Yeah, you create demand, you create that urgency to want to go back the next day and try again to get it. But selling out also means that you're underprepared.
Yeah.
as well. You know, you didn't prepare enough food, because I got to a point where I would sell out of lobsters because I only wanted to buy so much because I wanted to feel cool about selling out. And then I'd have customers come from far away, and they'd be like, "Oh, we just drove all the way here because you guys don't have lobsters. Like, what the hell?" And that's when I realized, like, okay, no, now I just need to be over prepared, and run it like an actual business, right? Chick-fil-A doesn't sell out. Cane's doesn't sell out.
Yeah.
You know, all these big In-N-Out never sells out, right? So who am I to think, oh, I'm cool because I sell out? No, right? But so that's just, you know, one thing I wanted to say about selling out. But as far as getting help, you know, when I finally stepped away, I mean, it takes a lot of guts and courage to let somebody else cook your products, right? Because it's your baby, you know, like you just said, nobody else can do it as good as them. They're so meticulous.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I had to get a couple bad Yelp reviews or a couple pissed off customers at the beginning, just but just because I had to let go of the ropes, let go of the reins, you know. But you know, but if I never did that and I never sucked it up and did that, I'd still be cooking every day, right? And so I think that, you know, if they're very meticulous, there's a certain way that they like to do it. That's just how they have to train people, and don't take,
That's true.
you know, yeah, you just don't be so laid back. You know, the problem too is, right, we're as chefs and cooks, I don't know if they have cooking background, but being a leader instead of a boss is very crucial as well, because if you know how to lead them to an end result instead of bossing them around, you know, people like that, right? Like, people like to feel important. So, you know, if you take a more of a, because I've done a more boss approach where I'm just telling people what to do and this is the way I like it, and you know, it works, but you know, then you create an uncomfortable environment, right? If
Yeah.
I train as a leader, I show them how to do it. I show them how I want it. I ask them if they understand. I'm more compassionate. I get a better result. I get people that actually want to do better. And so when I came in from that approach, you know, now I'm getting people that want to work for me left and right, you know, and they're like, we want to train under Zach, you know, because he's not only a good leader, he's going to teach me everything. I want to do it the way he does it. But you know, to actually answer your question, any advice is, you know, if that's the way they are, they need to train like that. They need to have that standard from the gate. As soon as they get hired, this is how we do it. There's nothing like this. We hold ourselves to a very high standard. These are our company values. And you know, hey, you know, you're a nice person, but if you can't abide by, here's a good one. I was talking to my buddy earlier today. He's like, well, you know, because when it comes to small and pop shops, when you're hiring employees, it's like you just seem like you can't get any good people. Me and my buddy that have a restaurant just seem like we can't get any good people. You know, I mean, granted, I'm very fortunate with who I have right now, but I dealt with it and I know what he means. Because I've had co-workers back in the day, the same thing. I'm like, dude, these guys are bozos. And so he said, well, how does Chick-fil-A do it? They never have a problem with hiring people. How do they keep their standards so high? I said it's because of this. I talked to the regional manager of California Fish Grill. They have, and this is, hold on. Shoot. My wife was calling me. Oh no. Am I back on? Oh, there we go. Cool. Can you guys hear me?
Like,
Sorry.
where you at, baby?
She's like,
Yeah, right. No, it's my daughter. It's my daughter. He said we hold ourselves to a high level of standards so that when people come in, they know that they need to tuck their shirts in. They know that they need to service the customer like this. And when somebody starts to differ from that, the example he said was, you know, guys coming in 2 days in a row with a shirt untucked. They decide, hey, well, why are you being different than everybody? Because it's either one, they don't know, or two, they don't care. And so, granted, if this is the, you know, they're watching everybody in there with the shirt tucked in, it's probably that they don't care. So what does he do? I'm sorry, but you do not align with our company values and our company morals. I apologize. Thank you so much for working. On to the next person. So then it creates this environment of everybody around follows this. And it's easier to weed out the people that aren't following the standard.
Yeah, that's good.
Because they stand out so much. And I hope that answered your question. But that's kind of some examples of just keeping that standard high, setting it there, don't differ from it. And I'm guilty because I did it the opposite way. I hired off a skill. And now I'm dealing with my employees' attitudes all day long when I should have hired off of attitude. I should have hired off of values.
Yes.
And now I know that. And now my next restaurant, I'm hiring the COO first. He or she is going to hire down instead of me starting at the bottom hiring up.
Ah, I like that.
Because if I can put my company standards and morale into one person, that one person can put them into multiple people. Instead of me running around with a chicken with my head cut off.
Makes sense.
So I hope that answers your question, Chris.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. That's what it is.
You guys a beast, bro. Zach's a beast, bro.
Yeah, man.
Again?
Yeah. Oh, this is one of my.
Zach the beast.
Oh, thank you. These are all things I've learned in the past 6 months. Truthfully, this isn't things that I'm an expert on. These are things that I'm watching. I realized, right? And I'll if you guys got to go, like I said, I could talk for hours, whatever. I just needed new information, right? The information, the vehicle that I was in got me to here. I'm trying to get into the next vehicle to take me to the next level. But I can't keep using that same information that got me to this level. I need new information. So, watching my motivational podcast and listening to my affirmations, that's great. And I still do that. But that's not going to get me to a corporate level of where I want to go. Now I'm listening to podcasts of, Tillman Fertitta, the richest restaurant owner in the world. I'm listening to podcasts about him, on him. I'm listening to, his name's Mario. I don't know his last name. He's the owner of Mendocino Farms, 60 locations. I'm listening to that kind of information because now I'm trying to learn now. Okay, I've got my one. My mentor is Ike from Ike Sandwiches. You guys ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Ike Sandwiches, you're going to see a bald guy. His face is the logo. 117 locations. Where was I going with this?
Systems, probably.
That you have to use.
Sorry, I forgot where I was going with this. But yes, Ike, 117 locations. There's a formula. Oh, I know what he said. He said, I did the hardest part already, opening the first one. Getting the standards, the company morales, the systems in the first one, that is the hardest part. Getting money, funding is hard as well, but now you just take that, repeat it multiple times. He told me I've already done the hardest part.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I love it.
It doesn't matter of duplicating it, right?
And I'm thinking this dude's crazy because he got 117. I'm like, having 117's got to be hard. He said having one. Starting one is harder than having 117. I said, that's crazy.
There's a lot of embarrassment, though.
Does that make sense, Ron? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to take his word for it, but hey, I got to learn too, bro.
He probably has systems in place that make it easier for him.
Exactly. Yep. He has the systems. He has the company morales, the values, how everything. He knows how every sandwich is made to the T. So now he's like, bro, I just rinse and repeat, over and over and over and over and over.
Here,
I'm like, wow. And 100, and mind you, 7 of them are franchised. 110 he owns.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, trust me, Ron. I thought the same shit. I said, you sound crazy, dog. I said, you sound crazy. It sounds crazy. I thought the same thing. I was like, what does that even mean? And I went home and I'm like, I guess, yeah. But he doesn't even show up to any of them. Like,
wow.
This was the one in San Diego.
That's crazy duplication right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100plication or whatever.
Crazy. But yeah, Kristen, you can follow Zach on Real Vanilla Rice _ on Instagram.
And then I changed my restaurant page to Vanilla Rice LV. Here, I'll put it in here.
Yeah, and then Ron's is right there. I'm sure you follow him already, but and then Vanilla Rice LV is his restaurant username. And when you come to Vegas, we'll be here.
We'll definitely go.
Yeah, we'll come out, visit him.
Dude,
let's do it.
I'm over here I'm over here talking shit kind of to your because I messaged you. I'm like, what up, Zach? Are you coming on or something like that? And they're like, how can we help you? Can we take your order? What do you want? I'm like, your mama. I'll take your. And then I was like, I thought it was you, but I guess it's one of your employees or your bots, bro. And I was just talking smack. And I was like, never disregard me, bro.
That's my new restaurant software. I'm coming out. Koala. Called Koala.
Oh, Ron's having fun with Koala.
I thought it was you, bro.
No. See, koala don't play. You can say whatever you want to koala. He's gonna redirect you back to. Please, let's keep this topic on hibachi. What would you like? Koala don't play.
It said, "Hey there, what's on your mind today?" And I said, "Your mama." Just kidding. I thought it was you.
And then I said, that was me. That was me that said that's my AI.
Okay.
Yeah. I said that's my AI. And then what did it say to you after that?
It started going into bot land. Absolutely. Here to chop it up with hibachi. What can I assist you with today?
Yeah. Hey, you can say whatever you want to koala, and it's gonna go like this, right back to hibachi. and the crazy part is the AI, of course, so picks up on my mannerisms. So it's probably heard me say "chop it up" before. So like, we could chop it up.
I see what you did.
Yeah, like how I'm like, yo, you trying to chop it up? You trying to chop it up, Ron? Like it trains to sound like me. So if I'm messaging back, it'll pick up on what I say. It's scary, to be honest.
So how much is that software you're using now, AI? Because I was using Mini Chat, and I think it was like $9 a month. But what are you paying now for your AI?
$297 a month. But that is auto responding to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. I host my own website on there. What else does it do? I can post to all my social medias from there. There's other shit too. It builds workflows. It's a CRM. It's my CRM pretty much. Yeah, is what it is.
Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my CRM. So the reason I got that was because I was running Facebook ads for private parties, and I was getting 20 to 30 messages a day. And I'm like, I can message them all back once, but now when I want to go retarget them and message them again, I wasn't collecting data. I wasn't doing anything like that. So now, like I said, they're all coming through the I think it's called the pipeline or workflow or whatever, and I'm just collecting numbers and email after email after email, and I'm building my database.
That's really, really
and
cool.
Now instead of messaging 100 people once, I can message 100 people twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, as many. I just keep sending out the messages. Yep. I always know that they're getting annoyed when they say, because it says press stop to end this. I see messages, stop. I'm like, what did I do? And I go, oh wait, they're pressing stop to the automated message.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy all the time, he gets, he's like, I don't go to Froyo unless they send me a message. He's like, and I know I'm going to get 2 a week for a discount. And so that's the way I do it. I do it for private events. I do it for my restaurant as well. Like, hey, you haven't been here in a while. Here's 15% off. Or I'll send out, hey, do you know Vanilla Rice started as a dishwasher? Like stuff like that. To just keep to keep the company up, to keep you, engaged with me, and to keep the brand going. Because people buy from people they like.
Right. So true.
So good, bro.
Love it, bro.
I love it.
Hell yeah. This is fun.
Well, thank you.
I can keep going. You know how it is, right? You can talk about yourself for hours.
Oh yeah, we just interviewed you like
a
month ago, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But I
appreciate it.
We got even more,
But yeah, this got more into depth of the business, like it's, you see what I do and it's great, but you would never know that I pulled the generator and the string came out of the generator 25 minutes before I'm supposed to open on the food. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, the little mini stories.
Yeah,
that people don't understand, and you got to unscrew it, wind it back up, and pull it again, and you hope that pull starts it, because if you don't start at that pull, you got to do the same thing over again, wind it back up, screw it back on, pull, like these little things that you said earlier. People don't see all the back end stuff; they just see what you got going on. So it's great to be able to tell those kind of stories.
Oh, good stuff, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for being on here, man.
Thank you guys. No, you guys are doing great. I appreciate you guys shining light on other entrepreneurs and other businesses and helping people out and, providing information to everybody that needs it.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, bro. And again, follow Zach on Instagram at realvanillarice_, and then his restaurant name is at Vanilla Rice LV.
And then you could do shit like this. Hey, where my shit at?
Thanks again, Zach, so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you guys.
You guys as well.
Thanks, Kristen.
All right,
guys.
See you guys
See you guys soon.
All right. Peace.
Bye.